everybody, it's Kelly from LOCH BRIAR KNITS coming to you from a very sunny, slightly cool, dusting of snow on the ground, October 31st, 2020. Coming to you from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is episode, I think, 88. That sounds about right. Let's go with that. So I have I think 3 finished objects to show you, and 1 work in progress, and 1 plan of an upcoming whip, which I'm still trying to nail down, but we'll get into that. So, oh, and I also made a few acquisitions. So, welcome to all the new and returning viewers. Thanks so much for coming back. I noticed that we had a bit of a jump in the membership. So welcome to all you newbies checking us out for the first or second or 100th time. Not 100th, unless you've been watching episodes on repeat. But anyways, welcome to everybody. You're all welcome here, and hope you enjoy the episode, and we are going to get underway. And I feel like my camera, it's either my camera or it's me, but we're going to blame the camera. A little off kilter, maybe. We'll go with it. Also, can we just stop for a moment and see how well and quickly the gray is growing? So when I started, when the lockdown started, I think I had like maybe this much gray, and now it is about down to there. Not so much on this side, but this side, actually it's the same length, it's just the side parts differently. But if you look underneath, that's a lot of gray. We're getting there. So anyway, not a hair podcast. Although I have noticed I do fiddle with my hair a lot because it has this tendency to fall into my face, and I don't like tucking it behind my ear because then I feel like it's all forehead, but I don't like bangs on me. So some people can pull off bangs. I'm not one of them. Anyway, that being said, again, not a hair podcast there. We'll do it like this. Anyway, let's get into finished objects. Now, one of these I literally finished about an hour ago. One I finished about a week ago. And one I actually finished maybe a month ago, but I completely forgot to show it to you. So we're going to start and go from oldest to youngest. And this is the Juist Cowl that I finished. So I did end up, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can actually see what I'm looking at. I did mess up somewhere. I can't remember which end, because oddly they both kind of look the same. But on one end, I was supposed to repeat a section, and I didn't. I skipped over that part of the pattern for some reason. But you literally, like, I can't even tell. I can't tell which pattern I skipped over, or which end I skipped over. I think it might have been this one, but I can't tell. Anyway, I'll double it here so it's easier to. I made this out of Illimani Echo Llama, I believe. Do I have a project page? I think I have a project page. I will. By the end of the weekend, I will have a project page for this on Ravelry if I don't already. And then there was a skein that I just wanted to get rid of in my stash. So I held them double, and you can kind of see it made a nice marling effect, but it kept mostly the kind of, it's almost like a brownish gray of the Illimani, which is what I wanted. So let me just see if I can. So you can kind of see it's got like little, like, I don't know what you call them, broken rib, maybe, I don't know. And then there's, oops, some little eyelets, and then like some more broken rib, and then like eyelets at the top and the bottom. So it ends up being this long. So if you put it on, it is like the perfect, like there's enough. I don't like it when cowls droop like too far down your neck, because I usually, when I put a cowl on, it's because I want to be warm. So this doubles up perfectly, and I love the color. It's like a nice neutral, and it's crazy soft because of the Illuminati Ecolama is so soft, which is actually what this sweater was knit out of. This was the very first sweater I knit for any returning viewers who have been with me since I started my first attempt at sweater knitting. This is the Puntilla by Joji Locatelli, and in hers it has like on the hem, it has a little afterwards like a contrasting color and almost like a little, I don't know if I'd really call it a ruffle, but kind of going around the edge, and the same with on the sleeves, that kind of comes out from the sleeve. Which I didn't do. I was going to, but I just really like, even though this is my first sweater and I made mistakes, I absolutely love the fit of it. Now, I don't have a whole lot of room here, so I don't know if I can really show it, but it's got like the amount of positive ease. The Illuminati Ecolama has such a beautiful drape to it. It's super warm, like, and it's only fingering weight yarn. And you can kind of, strip this way, you know, you can sort of see through it. But it's like when I'm cold, this is usually the sweater I'll put on, and I find it keeps me really warm. So yeah, so this is my oldest finished object and I love it. And I really could have used it this morning. I walk the dog through the week, I walk the dog at like 5:30 in the morning, and it's been really cool this week. And then this morning I woke up and there's a little bit of snow on the ground, and it was cold. So I usually just wear like my sweatshirt with my vest over it. And then I had my hat on, and I was walking going, I really could have used the cowl this morning, because it was chilly. So I'll take this off right now because I have some other stuff to show you. But I really, really like this. I think this is going to be like the perfect thing, because now too, like before last winter, our offices were on the other side of the harbor. I'm on the kind of Dartmouth side. I'm in Coal Harbor, but I'm on the Dartmouth side. And my office was on the Halifax side. So I used to drive to the bus stop, park there, take the bus over, then kind of get off at the main depot and walk down. So there was some outside time waiting for the bus and etc. on the way home and stuff like that. So, but now we've moved our offices over to the Dartmouth side, and we have free parking, which is awesome. I don't have to take the bus anymore. I can drive to work. And so, and the parking, we have underground parking, which is heated, which is crazy. Like you go from one extreme to the other. So I really could pretty much leave the house without a coat on, and then drive home, and you know, like I could probably get away without a coat, but there's that first little 10-minute section of time before the car really gets warmed up, and there's the times when I'm walking the dog, or even when like I have to go and take the dog out the backyard, do her business, you just need something. So I love having a cowl. So I could just have like a light sweater on or just a light jacket in the middle of winter and a cowl and a hat, and I'm fine. So, which is a shame because I really have a nice winter coat, but I can wear those when I'm walking the dog. So that's my spiel. So the other finished object I have is, well, and it's finished, but it's not blocked yet, because when it blocks, it's going to look completely different. So it's another one of the Churchhouse Yarn and Teas, or Churchmouse Yarn and Tea, or Tea and Yarns. I think it's Yarn and Teas. It's there. Anyway, I'll put it up on the screen. It's their ribbed muffler and cap pattern. So I showed the finished one for one of my nephews on the last episode, and I had started the second one, so I finished the second one now. And this one, it's made out of, both of them are made out of Barocco Ultra Alpaca. So I can't remember the names, but again, I have a project page on Ravelry. So this is what it looks like right now. And then when you block it, you stretch it out so that the ribbing flattens. And you use blocking wires for it, which I have. I've never used them before. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I'll show you actually on this one. It'll show better. So it'll kind of stretch out to about there. So it looks, these lay a little flatter, and it'll just have more of a drape to it. So this is the second one, and I don't know how long, if it'll stretch much in length. It may, I don't know. They give instructions on how to block it, so I'll follow those. But it's very nice. I do like it. I would kind of like one for myself. I also have the yarn for my husband to do one for him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this for the ends on his, and then this part is going to be like a really deep forest green. Forest green? Moss green. It's like the color of pine needles. No, it's like the color of fir needles. It's dark green. I don't know about the shade. It's dark green. So that's done. I still have one more to go. Here's where I am with my Christmas knitting, because I do have a fair bit to do. I still have the cable fingerless mittens for my niece, the hat I'm designing for my sister, which that one's something weird going on with my hair. That one's giving me a little bit of stress because I'm not sure how to do the top, like how to decrease the top. So I'm gonna have to give that some thought. And then the Gigantor wool socks for my brother-in-law, who has massive size, like 12 or 13 feet. And there's something else. My husband's made a bit of noise about getting another pair of socks. So I may do that for him if I have time. And I'm trying to think. I used an Evie Knits one for him the last time, and I got a lot of her self-striping here. So I do have this one now. Oops. I don't think this one is, actually I can't remember if this one is self-striping or not. Let's see what it says. I still have the tag in it. No, it's just socks. So and this is her Woodlands color. I love this color. Also, it's already caked up. But I thought like it's dark greens and blues, which would be perfect for him. So I think I should actually keep that out to remind myself. I am going to try to also knit him a sock. Which means I have what? How many weeks until Christmas? Somebody's coming to my door with my Amazon package. Presents. How many weeks do I have left? Is it 8 or is it only 7? Because I'm going to have to do up a spreadsheet. Any excuse for me to make an Excel spreadsheet? I'm there. What am I drinking, by the way? Not Lemon Thriller. I thought I usually send out a little tea bag in my orders, which, mental note to tell you about that. I usually put out, send out a little tea bag, and this one is Tazo Wild Sweet Orange, which is the one that I've got there that I put in some packages now, but I've never tried it, so I thought I should try it. And oh my God, I'm really hard to please when it comes to tea. I like my Lemon Thriller and I like lemon and ginger, but it's got to have a good ginger kick to it without overpowering the lemon. But this is nice. It's like literally like an orange in your tea. So it's delicious. So if you order a package and you get one of these, I hope you enjoy. So, last finished object is the one I finished about an hour ago. And it is the Oslo hat by Petite Knits. So I've complained about knitting with mohair and that I don't really like it, blah, blah, blah. But I was seeing all like sweaters and hats and stuff like that with mohair, like held double with something else. And I really like the look of it. And I thought, I'll try it again. So I did. I bought some mohair. We're going to do that later. So I thought, well, I'll start off with a hat. So I did. And here's what I used. I got this, by the way. I can't remember if I showed this the last time. This is my new Alex Collins bag. This is from her new release. It's beautiful. I love her bags. I love her bags. And I am like, when it comes to bags, I find I'm really gravitating towards the drawstrings over the zippers just because I have been really bad lately with getting my projects stuck in the zipper. So I have really been gravitating towards the drawstrings. So here is my very fluffy Petite Knits hat. So the way she has you knit it is you basically kind of knit and then you start knitting in the other direction. Then you flip your brim up and let's preface this by saying I am not a sewist. Hand stitching is not my forte. So you kind of flip your brim up and you stitch it. So you can kind of see it's not the best job. But then you don't really flip it. Well, I think maybe you do. Then you flip it up again like this. So you've basically got 1, 2, like 3 layers here. So I knit. I gotta tell you, it's warm. When I'm walking the dog in the cold winter mornings, This is that I'm reaching for. So here's what I like about it. First off, let me show you the yarns. I have a little bit left of the mohair, which is actually probably more than it looks because it's lace. So, and that is the Sugar Bush Drizzle. I can't tell if that's focusing. I'm gonna throw my glasses on. So this thing kind of really is tight on your head. Ooh. I don't know what I just did there. Okay, wait. Arrange yourself, Kelly. So this, the mohair is the Sugar Bush Drizzle, which is 76 Super Kid mohair and 24% silk. And you get 219 yards, 200 meters for 25 grams. And then this, I did, it was the, I think it was Rain Cloud. Yes, so that's the Rain Cloud, which is kind of like their light gray. And then this was this beautiful kind of gold color, and that was from Eden. Me talk pretty someday. Eden Yarns, Cottage Yarns, sorry. And I don't know if I've got that on frame. This I got, I think, for my very first fiber share partner, if I remember correctly. So weird things happening here because it's compressing my head. Anyways, this is on her Hayton 4-ply, and the color is Marigold. So I held these two double, and this is what you get. Hold that up. Oh, like, look at the fuzz on that. So I love it. Muted the Marigold, but the gray didn't like overpower it. So, and I like how it kind of goes in like on an X like that. So here's what I liked about it. I used more yarn than I normally do because you're really, you're knitting a longer tube. So you're knitting this long plus this much more. So it was probably like about this long because you're folding that up and then you fold that up again. So I made this in the I could probably, well, I can't fold that too much because then you get the seam coming down there. What was I just gonna say? This actually, so because it's longer, it took longer to knit. Usually a hat you can kind of whip off in a day and a half. This probably took me, I started it, I think, last weekend. So that is really good coffee. I'm going to have to get a whole box of that for myself. So it probably took me a week, maybe a little more. And I was knitting on this fairly religiously. This was kind of my main thing. So what I did was I measured my head. So my head, I apparently have a small head, was junior large. And so I did cast on the amount of stitches for the junior large, but I did the length based on the small adult, which worked out fine because I like a little extra room. I probably could have gone even a little more slouchy, but I think this is fine. I like how it looks. So the only thing I didn't like stitching the brim. It was a bit of a pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. So if you don't mind doing that, this is a good pattern. Like it takes you longer, but if you're looking for a warm hat, and I think she has two different versions. Like this is the Oslo hat, the mohair edition, the pattern that I got, but I think she also has just a regular Oslo hat, which I don't know if that's done with like a DK or worsted. I didn't really look because I wanted to do them with the mohair. And that's just fingering weight. So I did fingering weight and mohair held together, which I think is your DK. I don't know. I'm really bad at that. I always have to look it up every time I'm doing something. And today I was looking it up and I had one place tell me holding 2 fingering weights together gives you worsted. And then I saw another site that said no, gives you DK. So I don't know. I guess that's why you gauge swatch, right? For those of you that do that crazy kind of thing. I think I've only ever done 2 gauge swatches in my life. I did gauge swatch for this, and then which worked out fine. And then I did gauge swatch for my Tanya sweater, which was a disaster. So, and if I remember correctly, I was a little off gauge on this, but I went ahead with it anyway, and it turned out perfect. And then I think I was bang on gauge with the Tanya and couldn't fit my arms into the sleeves like at all. So that didn't work out. Anyway, so this is, it does kind of flatten your hair because of the pressure it puts on your head. And when I first finished it and I tried it on, I was trying to get the right spot for the brim. I had some people, I saw a thing where somebody did something where they kind of, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this right, like hold it here and then they flipped it up, sort of like going like that around it. But then I thought that if I do that, hang on, let me finish. If I do that, that sort of puts the ridge of the seam right here, which because of my stellar knitting or sewing skills is noticeable to me. Plus the ridge would be here and it would kind of be pressing into your head, because I do find this like tight. So I have not blocked this yet, and I don't think I'm going to, because it fits perfect the way it is, and I don't want to mess with that. So so I don't think I'm going to block it. But if I have time, I may knit one of these for my sister for Christmas. I actually have a fair bit for my sister for Christmas because she's like the easiest person in the world to buy for or make for. And she's one of those people that is very knitworthy and really appreciates stuff like that. Like she'll send me pictures of things that she sees like on the web, or like for the hat I'm designing her, that came from like something Pierce Brosnan was wearing in a movie. And she sent me the time it showed up in the movie. And then I had to watch the whole movie until I got to that time to see what the hat was. And then I had to take a screen snap of it. And then I had to figure out the pattern from there. So that's where I am with that. But she's really appreciative when like you knit her things, and she wears them, like she'll wear them religiously. So I love knitting for her. She's really good to knit for. And her kids are the same way. They really like the hand knit socks and stuff like that. So and her husband's the same. So that whole branch of the family, I have no problem knitting for. So that's the finished objects. So here is what's left in the needles. This is my Juist number 2. Yeah, sorry, the other one was Juist Cowl, which was by AnkeStrick. I forgot to mention that. And this is Juist number 2 by AnkeStrick. So, I love her patterns. This is my third pattern, because first one was the childhood sweater, which I had on in the last episode, which, by the way, I had on backwards. Did anybody notice? At the end of it, I was like, this feels weird right here. And then it kind of flipped over because I had put a little tag to show which was the back and somehow still managed to put it on backwards. So yeah, well done. So this is, make sure I don't drop any of the stitches. This is where I am on this right here. Find me some armholes. All right, so I'm still not super crazy about, I'll set this down here, see if you can see. Well, this one doesn't look too bad, but I still find it looks a little messy, but I'm hoping it blocks okay. This one actually, though, now that I look at it, it looks a little better kind of going down this section than it does sort of near the top. And I think it's because I was kind of getting used to the stitch because it was new. And then there's one part here, I just realized now, that seems completely off kilter with the other ones. It's over here. I'm not knitting back. We'll go with it. Yeah, so anyway, I'm knitting this out of Cascade Heather, Cascade 220. My dog keeps going after Ooter, by the way. This is Cascade 220 River Rock, which I keep screwing up the name. I think, what was I calling it last week or last episode? Sand Dune, or it's River Rock. So this is Cascade 220 Heather, and I am mixing it with, find it here. I'm at the point in the body right now where I think I'm knitting it to be about 13 inches, 12 and a half, 13. And so I think I'm about 2.5, 3 inches from the end. I like about that. Yeah, about the length of this, where I'm going to switch over to this. And then on the sleeves, I'm going to do the same thing, the same kind of length, like the last 3 inches. I'm going to knit it in this. And I thought about doing the collar in that as well, but the collars are rolled hem, so I just didn't know if it would translate very well or how I would kind of judge like where to stop it. And so I just decided, rather than muck it up, I would just leave it like that and then have it on the bottom part where it switches over and has like a little bit of color blocking. So, and that's Cascade 220 Heather Straw. So, and I only had one skein of this, so I thought this would be kind of a good use for that. And then there's probably still gonna be enough left over maybe for, like, I don't know, fingerless mitts or a hat or something. So that's where we are with that. And this has been a really enjoyable knit. I made some goofs where I was off on my stitch count by like 4 stitches. I don't know why, because I was going along and everything else was matching. And then all of a sudden, somewhere along the way, I lost my way. So I did a kind of evenly across. I did knit through the front and back loop, but I should have done maybe a make one instead, because now I sort of have these 4 stitches that look like that. This is not going to be the perfect sweater, but at the same time, I'm not that fussed about it. It's like, I find if there's like things about a sweater that I might have goofed up a bit and I don't feel comfortable wearing it to, say, the office, it doesn't matter because I will wear it religiously on the weekend or at home, or, you know, when we go to the summer house for the weekend, which is, I guess, now a winter house. The other house, I call it the schooner house. It's just another house that my father-in-law shares with us. So anyway, this is juice number 2, and I love it. I love it so much. So that is my current one and only whip. I mean, that's not true. I do have a couple other whips. I have the Galliano socks, which I've just been languishing. And I have, that's in my bag from the Loop. Let's see. So that's got like, oh, sailing ships, fisherman ships, tugboats. Actually, I think there's a little, can you see that one? Anyway, and again, drawstring, handles. I love these bags. I have so many of them. And I still want more. Oh, I always forget to put my pattern back in. So that's really the one and only, I'm going to call it active whip, because I have my Habitation Throw from, is that 1 or 2 knit bents ago? I think that was the last knit bent. So that's kind of one that I just pick up when I feel like it. And I am on the downside. I made it a little bigger than, I just kept going until I felt like decreasing. And now I'm on the decrease side of it. And what else? I do have other active knits, I think, or whips, but, or not active, kind of just sitting there waiting for me to get around to them. But not a whole lot. So I feel like I really want to concentrate on, what's the word, Kelly? Christmas knits. But, you know, you do have to knit a little for yourself as well. So I had mentioned that I had bought this book, and it's Seamless Knit Sweaters in 2 Weeks, and it's by Marie Greene, who is the founder of Olive Knits. So this is like 20 patterns in it. So I was kind of flipping through, and I've narrowed it down to 3 that I would like to start with. So here's the thing. I really want to see if I can do it in the time frame that they say it can be done in. So here's the thing. This is I've picked out 3. So this is the Stowaway Chevron Pullover. Look at that. Is that not like the most comfy looking? All of these that I'm going to show you are like similar. This one she knit out of Brooklyn Tweed, which, Tweed Shelter, which I have somewhere in here. Somewhere maybe up here. I do. Anyway, and I think it's in the soot color that I have. So I do have the yarn. Now, she says that this is a Stowaway is an approachable project for a 7 to 10 day timeline, regardless of which size you're knitting. So that's option number 1, because I really do want to use my Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, because I've never knit with Brooklyn Tweed before. And that was the yarn that I had bought when we were in Ireland at I think I got that one at the Constant Knitter. Now the next one I'm looking at doing is the Pebble Bay Simple Pullover. Don't want my paper to fall out. So I'm going to move my tea because I see disaster pending, just so you can get kind of a, so that's got like a bit of a crew neck, I guess, ribbed crew neck. It's very similar to the other one, but this one's made in DK. She used Haiku Trinzado. I can't find anywhere in Canada where I can get that yarn. So I'm probably going to go with just whatever DK yarn I have in my stash, because I do for these want a stash dive. But she she worked it in 2 different types of merino. Or sorry, the yarn is 2 different types of merino. It's a 50% superwash merino and then 50% merino. Which I don't even have anything that's that kind of combination. So I'll just find a DK weight yarn. So, but this one is, this simple sweater will practically fly off your needles and can realistically be completed in 5 to 7 days for knitters on a mission. I'm not sure what kind of a mission I need to be on for 5 to 7 days. I may have to take a vacation. But if you're looking for almost instant results, Pebble Bay is a perfect choice. And again, like these sweaters are very similar, but they're also the aesthetic that I like. Just kind of your basic pullover, simple structure, simple colors. I love it. So that one's 5 to 7 days. And then this one is the Newport Classic Turtleneck. So it's almost like a mock turtleneck, really. So you see that. So this one, she knit in Haiku Sueno, and which is a DK 80% superwash merino, 20% bamboo viscose. I don't have anything like that. And again, I could not find Haiku Sueno in Canada anywhere. So, and then I kind of looked at see if anybody had it on a D-stash, and I couldn't find anything there either. So, and she does suggest that when you're doing it, if you don't use the exact yarn, to use kind of the same. So if it's like a superwash or a non-superwash rather, make sure you're using a non-superwash yarn just to get the correct kind of drape for the design that she intended or whatever. But I mean, honestly, it's your sweater, do what you want. That's just, you know, her kind of guidelines. But this one says, those with social knitting opportunities or long stretches of travel time will find the sweater manageable to finish in 10 to 12 days at a steady pace. So I'm kind of going between the 5 to 10 day, if you're on a mission. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming it means you got to spend a lot of time doing it. Or 7 to 10 days, which is an approachable project for a 7 to 10 day, which is the Broken Shelter. Stowaway chevron. So I'm really leaning towards this one. So far, like, that's my favorite. But the Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, I was going to use that to knit myself another weekender. But my problem with the weekender that I have is I find it too boxy and I knit it too long, because you start from the bottom up, and I hate bottom up because I find it really difficult to judge my length properly. Sorry, hiccups. So, and this one reminded me of the weekender, I think, simply because this is the color I did my weekender in. But I do think, I don't know. So here's my plan. Anyway, the whole point of this is I want to see if I can do it in 2 weeks. Whether it's just like 5 to 10 or 7 to 10 days, I want to see if I can do it in 2 weeks. So what I'm going to do is, and there's like so many beautiful patterns in here. There's very few sweaters in here that I don't want to knit. So if you are looking for a really good like sweater book with like wearable patterns that are easy and quick to knit, this is the book. And I kind of bought this on a whim, without really looking at, I think there was a few samples of sweaters, and I kind of looked at them and I thought, I think there was like 3 samples where it showed like patterns in the book, and the book was $32.95 Canadian, and what is it, US? $21.99 US. So I thought, even if I only knit 3, I usually pay, by the time you do exchange, I usually pay about $10 to $12 for a sweater pattern off Ravelry. So this way I'm paying what I would pay for about 3 patterns, but I like pretty much every pattern in here, and I would knit them. And I'm going to try to knit them in 2 weeks. So here's what I'm thinking. If anybody else wants to, even if it's not one from this book, if you guys want to try doing a 2-week knit along, let me know. Maybe we can set something up. I do want to finish my Juist number 2 first, but then once I finish that, I am going to dive in and see if I can do it in 2 weeks. So if you're in, let me know. We can do that together. And we can just like set up a thing on the Ravelry page. So that's that. So, So here's some acquisitions. So anybody who's watched previous episodes, you probably know that I get the, I'm trying to get this open, the Quince & Co. Quarterly, which is a package that you get quarterly. And it has a pattern, and it's got the yarn, and then it usually has one other like little gifty thing inside. So I've gotten, in past ones, I've got a really beautiful wooden shawl pin. I've got, oh God, I can't remember who the maker was for the lip balm. That was beautiful. I got it upstairs. I use it sparingly because I don't want it to run out. So it's the lip balm I put on first thing in the morning when I go to walk the dog. And then there was like a bag. I wonder if I've got it in here. I can't see. It's in there somewhere, but it's like a project bag style thing, but you can kind of put it, the ropes over here, and kind of carry it. So this time around, anybody that was here for my Make 9, one of my things that I wanted to do this year was finally learn how to do color work, and I have not done that yet, and the year's almost over. Well done, Kelly. But almost as if it knew, this month's pattern is, look, is that not adorable? I love that. So here is the colors that they sent me, and this is knit on their owl, which I think I have some owl down here, which is 50% wool, 50% alpaca. And here is the colors that they sent me, and I love it. So I would think, so I'm looking at the pattern for the base color. I will use this, and then for the, I think where they have the blue, I'm going to use the red, And then where they have the gold, I'm going to use the kind of light brown. I think that's how I'm going to do it. So I love this yarn. It's like so nice. So that's, I think, going to maybe be either my January cast on or like over Christmas cast on. So I did get a sweaters quantity of this, which is Jody Long Alba, and it's a sport weight. It is 50% wool, 25% alpaca, and 25% viscose. So, and they suggest, they call it a merino and alpaca luxury tweed blend. And you can kind of see the tweed in there. So this is one of my favorite colors. I can't remember if I showed this on the last one. Maybe I did. Maybe I'll cut this whole section out and it won't be an hour long after all. And then I also got some of the Sugar Bush, and this is their so this is the Rain Cloud that I've already used one of, and this is Stormy Skies, which is kind of the darker gray. So I just kind of stocked up on, I think I got about 5 each of the Sugar Bush Drizzle of each color, just because I thought if I want to do a sweater, I want to make sure I have enough. And then I ordered also some more off of Knit Picks, because I think it's, what is it, the Aloft base, I think. I think I ordered like 3 skeins of the white, and then I got 5 skeins or 7 skeins of, I forget the name of it, but it was like the light gray. Because I find when I'm mixing a mohair, I always seem to like lean towards the grays, regardless of what color I'm knitting the sweater in. So I figured that would be a good one to have on hand. So that's that. And I think that is all. I think that's everything. Oh, which reminds me, next episode, I will be announcing an over 500 subscriber giveaway. I was going to, when we hit the 500 subscriber benchmark, I was going to do the giveaway, which I mentioned earlier in the year, and then the pandemic hit and I couldn't get to the grocery store, post office to mail things. So I am going to gather up some goodies and I'll show them on the next podcast, and then we'll do the plus 500 giveaway. So we'll do that next episode. Please don't let me forget. And let's see what else. Not much going on. There's just not much going on. I did find a new to me podcast. It's not new, new. It's been around for years. It's not knitting related at all. The podcast is, now she's Swedish. So when I look at it, I want to say Jonna Jinton, but J's are pronounced like we do Y's, so I think it would be Jonna Jinton. So she's like an artist. She paints. She makes jewelry. Now I don't know if she designs it. Her husband's a silversmith, and he I think does the physical making, but I think she may design it. She sings and she takes all of this amazing footage, because she's up in like northern Sweden, like practically in the wilderness, and oh my god, it's so beautiful. I literally just sit there drooling over the landscape alone. It is so amazingly beautiful, and her vlogs, I guess would be the better word, are just, they're entertaining and they're fun and they're like just, she's so amazingly creative. She's just young and she's beautiful. Like, is there anybody in Sweden that isn't beautiful? And the scenery is just like, oh, it just takes your breath away. Like, I would definitely check it out. I'll put that down there. What was the other one that I started? I started watching, I think it's a fairly new one. She's from Norway, because really, like, the Scandinavian countries, I just want to go there. I just want to go there and live there forever. Knitting Traditions, or Tradition. It may or may not have an S in the end. And I think she has 5 episodes out right now. So she's really good. It's like, she's a doctor and she's living in I think she said her apartment is over a stable. So she's kind of like living on a farm, and you look out the window from where she's podcasting and you can just see like landscape and mountains. It's just amazing. And then, so that was anyone, I think it was the only, I did find Heather and Hops, which she's been around for 2 years at least, I think. So I started watching like from the beginning, because she has quite a few episodes. So I found the new one and then I backtracked and I started watching from the beginning. So I've really been enjoying those. And I think that's it. I think that's it. All of the new ones I found. So that's what I'm probably going to do this afternoon, is I'm going to knit on my Juist No, because I want to get that done so that I can attempt the sweater in 2 weeks and see how viable that is. And then I'm probably going to edit this, try to get it up tomorrow morning. And I'm probably going to have another cup of this tea because it was amazing. And then I'm going to have to go buy groceries because I think I'm going to need an extra stash of this. And that's about it. I think that's all we got on tap for this weekend. It's a pretty low-key weekend. It's Halloween. We're actually not doing Halloween this year. I'm not a big Halloween fan anyways. I'm really not. So the stores are almost out of Halloween candy too. Like, my boss was saying he couldn't even find any. But we were originally not going to be here this weekend. We were going to be at the Schooner House. And then I had some packages being delivered and I didn't really want to leave them on the step over Halloween night because I thought if people are coming up and they're like, hey, package, is that what you're leaving for us? No. I'm just not taking any chances because Christmas is coming and I really, really want to spend Christmas with my family. So I'm not doing Halloween. So we're probably just going to shut the lights off and go downstairs and watch a movie. Oh, no, the thing I put, the pin I put in my head earlier. I did get my wholesale order off to the yarn store that's opening in November. And it's by Stitchel, which is John and Kelsey. If you've listened to their podcast by Stitchel, you're familiar with them. They're opening a yarn store. And it's opening on West Blower Street in Toronto. Now, I don't know the opening date yet. I keep meaning to ask them and I keep forgetting. But they had contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do a wholesale order with them because they want to concentrate on Canadian dyers. So I was like, hell yeah. So I did do up a colorway that's dedicated specifically to their shop called On Darker Shores. And then I also sent in kind of some of my regular colorways like And So It Goes, Woodsy, Shut the Barn Door. What else did I send? Smoke and Mirrors. I sent in Old Timey Christmas, which is my Christmas colorway I do in my yak base. And Christmas Bark, which was my other, I think that's all. And then I had some other ones I sent in that I actually pulled from the shop. So I think there was like Spring Blossom. And I forget what else. I've written down somewhere. So that's on its way. I think it's arriving there. It's supposed to arrive on November 2nd. You know, Canada Post and packages, everybody ordering online. Things are a little slower, so I'm hoping it gets there on the 2nd, if not the 3rd, you know. So that's there. So if you're in the Toronto area, check that out. I saw some pictures of their shop where they're pulling everything together. It looks like it's really nice. I wish I could actually go up and visit, but most of the COVID cases in Nova Scotia are from people that have been on a Toronto to Halifax flight. So it's going to be a while before I fly. Anyway, so that's that. I'll find out in the next podcast, kind of mention if they're open or when they're opening, if you're in the area. And that's everything, I think. So I'm going to let you guys go because I'm actually over an hour for a change. Yeah, so let me know if you're interested in doing or attempting a sweater in 2 weeks. And then we'll see about putting something together for that if you are. And that's it. I am going to sign off and go knit. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy Halloween if you are one of the many that love celebrating Halloween, unlike me. And until I see you next time, happy knitting. See ya.